guys have just put on a wonderful, magnificent performance for the people of Chult, earning you quite a bit of coin. And also, you've redeemed yourself with some popular favor with some of the townspeople. You are recognized performers now. And maybe even some of them thought that your whole situation with the race and your unsportsmanlike javelin spearing the competition could be brushed away, given that it was just more performance, you know? And what's more, Wakanga Otamu, the merchant prince who is keeping Syndra Sylvain safe for the while, has told his local guards, his private ones, that, they are to let you guys in. The fact of the matter is he didn't think to tell them before, but no, he absolutely gives you full permission to come to his villa anytime he's there or he's not. And we are at the following day, where after you had a little bit of a nap just in some of the benches of the gladiatorial restrooms of the inner circles, you've had one of the extras come up to you. This happens to be a female human. Looks to be a northerner, like the rest of you guys, who seemingly must have been face painted while they were part of the act with you all. And, they just basically approach you while you're all stirring to head out. And, would Nesserin please say hello?
Hello?
Hello there.
Hello there.
You are a shrewd bunch of, weren't you? Putting on that display. Bravo. And Nestrin sort of claps at them. I was looking to see if maybe you were looking to take on another hand.
Are you only a good actor, or can you fight in real life?
I can certainly hold my own. I was a bodyguard for a merchant ship, the Davros. The captain was a senseless prick, tried to hoard the coin for himself and screw us out of our cut, so I said, fuck it, and I stayed behind at port, got a job here, and then so are you guys. And I was wondering perhaps maybe you'd want another blade for your adventures, as long as you're willing to offer a fair cut.
So another blade, what's your weapon? What do you fight with?
I fight with a katana and a crossbow.
Can you show us some moves?
Nestrin sort of smiles and gives a little nod underneath her sedge hats, and does a run right towards the wall, launching a backflip, and sees a hanging nest up top of the wall, and does a roundhouse kick towards it, smashing it. Sort of a lantern hanging from the wall.
Oh no, I like the nest. I like the nest and some angry like not bees but hornets. Yeah, some nice hornets. You can give me an acrobatics check now, please.
Sure.
Let's see.
And it's coming.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you pull off that maneuver. It goes off exactly as you predicted, and it definitely goes off into that corner. Now, I would like you to make me an animal handling check at disadvantage, please.
Okay.
The disadvantage will be the lesser of the two values that come up.
Very well. Animal.
That happens to actually just be enough that the hornets are they're very angry, but they fly and buzz out straight into the gladiatorial pit, and they don't bother the rest of your newfound friends.
Elithio kind of rouses and flutters his cape a little bit to keep it straight, and he says, "While I dislike how you treated those innocent bees or hornets, I do agree that you are quite the capable hand."
The more,
I-
the merrier.
I look at it and I just go, "Fuck hornets. They don't do anything for the environment."
Elithio kind of gives him a look, but doesn't say anything otherwise.
Very nice, very nice.
But I'm convinced.
So I don't know where the clapping comes from sometimes in our voice channels, because I keep hearing that and I think somebody's either being like paddle slapped sometimes, but like, is everything
Oh my.
okay, Peckus? Yeah, I mean, are you free at the moment? Are you bound in something?
Are you free?
Yes, are you free?
I just was finishing ordering the dishes, but.
Oh, good. Ah, good. Okay.
Are you free?
Yep. All right then. Carry on.
There's
Oh, by the way, I was keeping a party gold. So how much gold do you have on you?
Me, I have. Oh, sorry.
Oh, for our swash.
it's, 10 pieces.
All right, we're at 450 party gold.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
of course.
Do
Oh.
we share our gold equally?
It's more for convenience than anything else.
Well, I'd be okay with that.
Everything's fair.
Out of interest,
So-
do any of you guys still have a copy of Volos Guides to Monsters that you brought off Volo himself?
I did.
Fish does.
Elithio waves his book.
Yes, nice one.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that was still in circulation. Please carry on.
We should probably stock up on supplies, arrows for our archer friends, as well as maybe some holy water for the undead.
Oh, also, I need to go back to the church, or is this not the next day after
Ah,
we
no,
did
it
that
is the
last
next
event?
day after. You're completely and
Oh, yeah.
absolutely correct, Ilofil. No, Grandfather Sitembe should have some details for you. Absolutely, yes.
I'm going to the church. You guys can get your supplies, or you can come with me. That's your choice.
Follow me,
what-
fish.
What supplies do we need?
So basically, just if you want to do anything in your own time, while I roleplay Ilofil going to the church, just use text here to do your transactions. Player's handbook rules apply. +1 items you can talk to me about. There's a few special stuff and whatnot, but basically anything you need from the player's handbook you can get regularly. And you could just mark it off your character sheet while doing transactions over the chat. And I don't think you're after anything special, but if you are, I'll come back to you. So firstly, Alofil, you splinter off from the rest of the team as you head back over to the Temple of Savras, god of divination. And yeah, you come back to that large dome-shaped roof that has an eye that appears to be peering up straight up into the sky, as it were.
All right. I go in and ask for Grandfather Sitembe, if his attendants are around.
Oh yeah, no. Somebody will be around, sure. And no, they will definitely see their way to me getting you to meet back with him. Why is the sound not kicking off? Alright, can I put the old one back on? I can. Great. I'll put the other one on. No. Okay. So, let me just get back Portney and Zaru. Locations in the city. Nope. Have I put you in the wrong place? No, I put you in the right place. Temple of Savras, Grandfather Sitembe. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. So, yes. Grandfather Zatembe sees you coming in, and he notions for you to go right back to one of those confessional booths where you and he can talk, casually, you know? And
Mhm.
he basically goes in there and waits for you to join him.
And I follow, of course.
Yeah. Now, while in there, it's nice and peaceful and quiet. The heat still, heavily hangs in the air around you. As some morning sunbeams beam in through some of the high-rising open windows and whatnot. And yes, he poses you and goes, I heard you made a name for yourselves in the gladiatorial pit last night.
Yes, the play that we did. It was for gaining a good repute back with Courtney and Zara. We made some mess, as you probably have heard.
Oh, those things don't concern me that much, but glad to see that you are out the other end of it well. Now,
Thank you.
I'm sure you've been wondering what the spirits had to tell me.
Not really.
Yes.
Hush you weren't there. Alright. I have seen some visions of a jungle city far to the south, enclosed by cliffs and crawling with snakes, and a black obelisk draped in vines. Not only that, I have seen all three of swamping water, rising fumes of heavy, dense clouds, rising from a fiery, hellish scape deep beneath. All I have seen within the place you seek, all merged, water, air, fire, ruins, all and snakes, draped around this enclosed, canopied, lost city to the far south.
And this city has a name?
The visions did not give too much about it. Did not tell me more than that, but I can tell you that there is a dark, overwhelmingly evil, vile, negative presence that lurks past that obelisk. Past the obelisk there was a force that when I peered to it, peered back, and was not welcome for my sight to reach it. I believe the source of what you're looking for can be found there.
I see. And do you know if maybe perhaps our guide or any other guide would know of this city?
I'd be able to answer if the guides were willing to give me a name. What I do know is it is to the far, far south.
Hmm.
All the way on the other side of the peninsula, I would say.
I see. Because we're in the company of our guide Eku. I don't know if you've heard of her.
No, I don't keep tabs on Joe Baal's guides and wayward wanderers.
I see. And what did you say about those something three something? What was the three?
He basically describes that the location he saw was all at once waterlogged, burning inferno, and was drifting amongst rising clouds.
Oh, I see. Okay. And is there anything else that you can tell me before I leave?
Only that the entity present there is so foreign to Cholt. Its presence overwhelms that in the local area. I would say that my vision showed that my sight had to pass by the beating heart of Uptal, suspended there in the sky, beating, dripping blood down to the Aldani basin below.
Aldani Basin, you say?
Yes.
And this beating heart of Uptow, was it literal? Like, was it literally a heart, or?
It looked like a heart to me.
Okay.
With blood dripping out from it.
I see.
Ominous.
Very ominous. Well, then I best be off then.
He, you know how a driver can padlock the child seat?
Oh, yeah.
He has a sort of situation like that where he does something similar, and you know when you're at a train station that while you have a screen before you, there's a slider that goes underneath the divider, yeah?
Yeah.
He basically puts his donations box through it and he goes, "It's feeling a little light today."
I give him a small smile and I say, they seem to be doing that a lot, hey? And I put 10 gold in there.
Oh yeah, he takes that and he just goes, "Well, you know, all donations are greatly appreciated. Plus, you know, I saw some scary stuff. I could be traumatized. This gold helps me buy some jet to, you know, go about my holy duties tomorrow."
I understand. Thank you again for your visions.
He unchild locks the door and yeah, he lets you out and he gives you he meets you outside and he grasps your hand and he shakes it heartily and gives you a nice smile. But he does shake it a bit longer as he basically gets a bit he kind of goes a bit more somber now as he does say, "Truly beware of what lies behind that obelisk. Don't know what that is. I know what you're searching for is beyond it. But there is nothing living past that point. Or rather, I felt as though anything that lives there doesn't necessarily just die, but is erased and consumed." He kind of pats your hand, and then he kind of walks off, leaving you with that note.
I take a note of it, and I walk towards where my friends last were.
Yeah, excellent. So, friends of Elophiel, let's you do some more shopping, and you may forget that you've done lots of shopping, really. But yes, I can see looking for arrows. You can find this. You want to get 5 silvered arrows. Well, silvered isn't magical, and magical is what usually is costing a premium around here, though they do sell it. So, you cannot get 5 silver arrows. You can get. It's not worth the time of melting down the arrow tips to then pour into a pot of it. So, if you're going to get arrows, you're going to have to buy 20 of them. And you can buy them for 100 gold pieces, more than the cost of a 20 quiver of arrows.
Then we'll just get 20 more normal arrows.
Can we get some crossbow bolts as well?
Totally. Found in the player's handbook, you can get it, no problem. Also, same for some alchemist fire, you know. That actually, who would be selling alchemist fire? Because that's actually a little bit interesting now. I think that would be Ekene Afa. Yeah, she would be doing some alchemist fire, I think. Oh, Mr. Nesserin, Miss Nesserin. There is a merchant princess that you do know of called Jessamine. She's privy to some poisons and whatnot that might interest you. They're rather premium, but they can be pretty useful when given the right situation.
Oh, perfect. maybe we could visit that later after we've accomplished other tasks.
Well, when you've accomplished your other tasks, you're gone. But I'm
true.
going to share with you. In fact, I'm going to share with everybody what these potions are. So poisons. So I've shared these poisons with you. Yeah. So as you can see from the handout of poisons, you can see that there's a for your budget. You can see that Assassin's Blood is one of them. It's an ingestible poison, but when you have one of this Constitution saving throw, 1d6 poisoned, and you're poisoned for the next 24 hours. Then you have Truth Serum. That might be a good, awesome utility, but you've got Paladins and Clerics for Zone of Truth, so yeah, you know, give or take what you want to do there. Let's see. For your budget, you could get Oil of Taggart. Constitution saving throw, poison 24 hour. You'll be unconscious and wakes up if it takes damage. So, yeah, unconscious for a whole day. Could do a lot in that time. One called Malice. Drow poison. Lots of sleepiness. Okay, well, basically, you see the list. And if any of it interests you, you let me know. The ones that say injury, you can apply to your weapons. So, I'm seeing Serpent Venom. And if we scroll down to that one, yeah, obviously DC 10 Constitution saving throw, or it does 3d6 poison damage. So, that's a good, reliable one. But I'll leave that to you.
Okay, and guys, do you want to have like a little more utility? Yeah, in case we need, if we're lost in the jungle, or if we need to get some truth out of a suspicious character. What do you guys think?
I believe reason will be good enough for trying to get the truth out of someone.
But again, between that paladin and the cleric, Zone of Truth between the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's enough.
Okay. The poison list isn't coming up in the special items.
It won't be in special items, it will be in your journal as a separate handout.
Yes, we're seeing it, but there's nothing actually written on.
Is that so?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so yeah, everything that would be in there is all in the GM side, which is not so great for me. Let me just check there's nothing hidden. No, I can show all that. Let's just do a copy. Copy and a paste. Boom, how about now?
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Are there any +1 shields there?
Yes, Akane Alpha does sell +1 shields. Yes, she does. Let's see, the price of a +1 shield. It will be wooden, but it can be sold for 450 gold pieces.
Ish.
Yes.
Okay, that's too much right now.
Yes.
Where's that herbalist that I talked to in the very, very beginning about those what were they called again? The veggie pygmies.
The herbalist of the veggie pygmies.
Because we
I
talked to
remember.
her. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the potion vendor. That's the poison vendor. That's Jessamine.
Oh, that's the same one. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because I want to buy some components for my spells.
Now, she... That's an interesting situation. She does deal with plants, and I would say if your component is specific to plants, then sure, you can pick something up for her. But Wakanga Otamu does deal with magic items, and he's aware of their components. So you could bargain with some stuff from him. He does sell potions and scrolls as it happens.
I would like to browse his wares too.
Certainly. So, any magical item potion of the common variety, Wakanga sells for 80 gold pieces. Any potion of the uncommon variety, 300 gold pieces. A first level spell scroll, 100. And a second level spell scroll, 550.
Hmm.
After that, though,
Yeah.
if you want to haggle over components, what are you after specifically?
Hold on, I need a list. I need 1 leaf of sumac.
Okay.
I need several seeds of moonseed.
Several moon seed. Do these have
Yes.
a cost to them?
I would think. I don't know. I'm looking in my components right now.
Tell me the
for my
spell.
spells. Okay. Moonbeam.
Am I talking to a Lothiel right now?
Yes, you are.
Well, how have you been able to cast this about these components then?
I've had them. I've always been buying them ever afterwards. It's just when I've had my moonbeam used before with the Gorillon.
You've
I
used
used
it
it
more
up.
than once, and you've not discussed buying these before. No,
I
no, you
could
have
have sworn
not.
that I've had. Oh.
Unless I'm a complete liar and I've forgotten. Moonbeam, there we go.
Well, I don't think you would have lied, but
Oh, it has no
Maybe I did.
material. It has no material cost. You
it should.
No, it doesn't. Several seeds of any moonseed plant and a piece of opalescent feldspar. No material cost. You can cover that all with your druidic focus.
Okay, great. Okay, never mind then.
Was there anything else?
No, I guess that's it then.
Yeah. That's why you didn't discuss it with me, because there was no cost to doing Moonbeam.
No, that would be.
Speaking of, if you
Okay.
do have spells that have a material cost, now's the time to talk about it.
Yeah, I would like to get a book so I can write holy text onto the parchment.
Are you thinking of taking the feat Magic Initiate?
No, it's Shield of Faith requires a small parchment of holy text.
Oh, does it have a money cost to it?
No.
Your spellcasting focus, which is your holy symbol, which can be found as part of your necklace or the symbol that you keep on your armor, covers that cost then.
Okay.
If it doesn't have a GP cost, your holy symbol or your druidic focus or your arcane focus covers the cost.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I need, I guess, honeycombs, maybe 2 feathers, I guess.
Does it have a
and
money cost?
It does. It has 10 gold money cost.
Ah, there we go. What's the spell?
Magic Mouth. I think
Alrighty.
it's a small bit of honeycomb and jade dust, worth at least 10 gold pieces.
Now that's sounding like it. Yes, now you're onto something. Magic weapon, magic mouth. Yes. Jade dust worth 10 gold pieces. Well, actually, Wakanga could be your guy, but while you're looking over into the merchanty vendor area, one of the other merchant princes to approach, or one of their delegates, will actually be Xanthi. If I get a handout for her. Who you've actually dealt with before. She was one of the ladies you waited in a queue for before you did your race, and she told you were wasting your time. I forget what you came to ask about, but I can tell you that she wasn't impressed that you came asking for her for some help over something she knew nothing about.
No, it was. I was asking her about the Order of the Gauntlet and if she's been
yes.
dealing with them.
No, she had not been dealing with them at all. You'd wasted her time with that, definitely.
Yeah.
But she and those that work for her definitely deal in gems and whatnot. So you can absolutely buy some gems worth from her, for sure. And I think through one of her delegates, that 10 gold pieces will be sold at 15 gold pieces.
Oh. Okay. Is that for me, or are you referring to him? Because
I'll keep track of it if you want to buy that or multiple.
I'll just buy one of them. I probably won't need it like ridiculously a lot, so.
Right, so that will be 10. Well, yeah, that'll be 10 gold pieces worth. I mean, I guess 15 gold pieces, but you know, you're being extortioned. That's the situation. But for your magic mouth, yeah, you will have that material component sorted. You will have your jade dust ready. I guess he charged you to grind up a jade to make it into dust for your spell.
Yep.
Alrighty then.
So I just grind it up.
Yeah, totally. Anything else?
I think I need phosphorus. Yeah, a bit of phosphorus or winchwood,
Spell.
or a glowworm for dancing lights.
Dancing lights. Dancing lights. Dancing lights. Alrighty then. Let me just see this. Darkness, dark, dancing lights. No material cost with gold value.
Well, then this thing lied to me.
Are you looking at the compendium or something on Roll20?
No,
I
Comedian
just took
doesn't
it
show it either.
I took it straight from the compendium right onto my character sheet.
Alright, compendium, dancing lights. Here we go. No, even your bit, a bit of phosphorus or witchwood or a glowworm still does not have any gold piece cost.
Oh, okay. So I can just take those.
Yeah, you just make them. You just spawn them
Oh.
from your focus.
Oh, okay.
Anything
Which
else?
could be my sword. So, okay, yeah. No, I'm good.
Excellent, alrighty then. Ugh. After you've done all of your buying and selling between the various merchant princes, where do you head off to next?
We're going to meet up with our guide.
Yes, yes. So, Eku will definitely meet you back at the Thundering Lizard, while you had managed to keep your very well-meaning Order of the Gauntlet initiate alive. What was his name again? Goodfellow.
Mr.
Sir
Goodfellow, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Goodfellow is there, sitting like out of place, while there's 10 others sort of like hunched around, sort of standing awkwardly, and yeah, Eku is basically yeah. You how do you pay them up front? I think you had, hadn't you, for 50?
30 days worth.
Right, yeah, so you got a bit more time on the clock as it happens. So she basically says, so where would you like me to take you next?
Let's guide these people down back to their camp, and then afterwards head to your oracle.
That sounds like a good plan, but we'll need some canoes. Or if we go by the river. Elsewise we have to walk and that will take longer.
We currently have 4 canoes at our disposal from the camp when we came up.
Excellent.
Or did we only have... Yeah, we did.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now then, there's 12 plus 6. So 18 of you guys all together. Let's see. Buying a special item. Where are we? Well, Raincatcher, insect repel. Canoe! Holds up to 6 medium people, 18 of you, 3 canoes. You have enough canoes as it is already. That's excellent. Alrighty then. So, are you all done in Portney and Zaru? Because you don't know may next be back in here.
I'm done here.
It's about
Yeah.
time we get out of Dodge.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright. You begin to head towards Malar's Throat, and as you begin to head that way, you are greeted by a variety of slums. Once you get beyond this part of the gate, you get towards some of the slummy areas of Portney and Zaru. Shambled shanty houses that are roughed and tumbled and made together. You're familiar with them because you fought some gorillons here, which have now all been tidied up. But as you pass through here, you have a variety of screaming, happy, mahogany-skinned children, and missing toothed elders sort of approach you, patting you on your back. People sort of approaching you with a bit of paper, and I guess they don't have pencils or pens, and they just expect you to get like a muddy handprint on there. But basically, you do get some attention as you start to exit out, along with your private escort of about 11 Order of the Gauntlet initiatives, you know?
I think I actually
I'll
have an
embrace
ink
you
in-
welcomingly.
Oh,
Yes, I will. I will sign autographs if I have a. I do have a feather, so I needed ink. Okay, I don't have ink.
They're happy
Use
with
mud.
like muddy handprints, honestly, by the look of it. But yeah.
Could I press the digitation a signature?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Okay, there you go.
Absolutely. Now, Nesrin, I don't know how much you know about this campaign, but I will warn you, as I've warned the others. On this map, you will discover those hexagons, and you will actually replace them with what is the actual map terrain. If
Okay.
you find yourself without a guide and you explore around here, you will decide which way you're going. It may be the real way, it may not be the real way. There is a possibility you can get lost. And I will, if you aren't keeping track of this with the rest of the guys, then I will allow you to be lost. Just so we make that clear.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, yes, this map is loading slowly for me. Somebody is microwaving some popcorn, I hope. And you guys all get back into your canoes and you start to make your way back down. You have a pretty easy stretch of it. You carry on down the river. I'm gonna yawn. Eldaf? Who's Eldaf?
The goddess of peace.
Oh, nice. Alright then. So let's do this off. Let's sort this out. This map is not loading anytime soon. So this is 1 day. That's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. Yeah, 8 days. Perfect. Alrighty. I have moved you, and you can move yourselves, but 8 days have passed. I will now update a situation I'm keeping track of. Right, so, yes, you guys make it back to Camp Vengeance, and the place is pretty much in disrepair, well, fortified disrepair, as you might remember it. Commander Breakjaw, or Breakbone rather, he greets you as you bring forward a whole group of initiates forward, and yeah, it seems as though things are starting to pick up around here, and yeah, Paladrius, you're the one that was given an Order of the Gauntlet symbol, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes. This doesn't mean much at the moment, but I want you to consider that you now have a promotion. At the end of this session, I'll talk about what that means. But basically, you are Order of the Gauntlet Initiate +1. What that means essentially is perhaps you can be able to privy some sort of help. Reconnaissance, or rather intel sharing, is the least that can be expected as your current role in this organization.
Alright.
So if you ask about something, it should be pretty standard business. They share that information with you. So that's something you can expect. Now, Niles here, though fretting and while kind of discerned, is still very much a very stern kind of person, struggling to make ends meet here as he continues to struggle around in this area. But with your guys' help, he has 10 new initiates, and he says he basically quarantines them off from the rest, as he basically says that well, while these others are going to keep trying to recover, these ones will be off straight to perimeter searching. Goodfellow is, and he basically looks to Goodfellow and he goes, "What happened to the others that we sent back, the sick?" And basically, Goodfellow replies back, "Oh well, the wonderful, wonderful people that you sent to come and collect us had already healed them by the time we got back. They had cured all of their disease." And Niles just basically goes, "You did offer that. I wasn't willing to take any chances of any kind of magic. I still didn't know you then." And basically, he just goes back to Goodfellow and he says, "Did they really look better? They weren't later possessed? They weren't caught of some different kind of madness, were they?" And Goodfellow replies back, No, please, they were absolutely fine. They wait importantly in Zaru to actually, be a form of contact. I don't know who you were expecting, Mr. Big Bone, but we were ready to come around and approach Camp Vengeance from the other side. There was nobody else inside Portney and Zaru aside from us, and you got lucky." And she just goes, my intelligence is behind. I had letters only like 3 months ago, so back then there was a whole contingent there. I guess they all got lost in the jungle at one point or another. Listen, Goodfellow, we might be all that we are then, but anyway, I gotta look back at some maps. Thank you very much, he says to you guys. And he looks to you, Pelagius, as he basically says, "If I need you, I'll send a scout out to get you and draw you back in. Understood?"
I'll help in any way I can.
"That's what I like to hear. Thank you." And with a bit of a happy, but it's still a Monday kind of sigh, he goes back to his tent. The lady that gave you your initiative badge, Sister Cius, she comes by to you and she basically pats you on your shoulder and she goes, "Niles can't really describe that he's really happy with what you've done for us, but I know what you've done for us is outstanding. Truly. You're a great asset to our cause. Truly and honestly."
We're here to help for the greater good. And if we can have more allies on our side, the better.
The greater good.
And she basically goes, "I can't agree more. Now, we didn't take you up on your offer to heal our sick last time. We didn't know you. You've proven yourselves to us now. We can trust you. And I'll tell the men that they're not being delirious. You're actually good-meaning folk. Would you like to stay, and would you like to take care of our sick?"
We can't stay too long, but we can take care of some of the more immediate cases.
We can stay for the night.
Yeah, at this point, it is a night, so you guys can stay a night, certainly, if you want to.
I'll spend my time heeding to the more urgent sick, those who might pass.
Yeah, Arak will do that too.
Alright, excellent. So, just between you guys, how many of you can do a remove disease or a lesser restoration?
I can do that.
I
but
can as well.
If
How many times can you cast that lesser restoration?
3 times, but it's the morning because I don't have to prepare it right now.
No, okay, I mean, alright, so 3 times tomorrow morning. Thank you for being honest with what spells you have prepared. And Pelagius, can you do 3 casts of that right now?
I can do 3 casts of Lay on Hands right this moment.
Lay on Hands isn't going to cut it. These guys are diseased. It's going to be a lesser restoration to cure them of their disease.
If I remember right, Lay on Hands
does 5 points, and you get to get rid of it. I'm sorry, that took me a while to figure out. Yeah, 5 points. So, at level 4, you can basically cure 4 of these dudes, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot to update. Let me check the handbook real
It's
quick.
5 times your paladin level, and you're level 4, so
Then yes.
yeah, 4 of them. You heal a bunch of them, and yeah, they get up, they basically say, "Oh, thank you so much. It was some kind of fruit. I remember. It was yellow and it was quite round. It was delicious, but a moment later we felt ourselves hooting and howling and jumping up trees. We couldn't stop. It was madness. Be careful of the fruit around here. Definitely careful.
Be sure to relay that with the rest of the guards.
They do so, and you guys are afforded a night's stay, and you are given a nonplussed. So Niles doesn't come by, and he doesn't. What he will do actually is he basically approaches you, Pelagius, as he just basically goes to you after you've healed everybody, and about 3 hours in after you've just come by, he just basically says to you, "You're on watch now. Go there for the next 2 hours until somebody changes your post."
I should do so immediately.
He appreciates that, though he expects it. And you head on up. You do your post. Give me a perception check. All right, this isn't at disadvantage, so we'll take that 14. Do you remember the twingers that you saw before? The twingers?
The little black creatures?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you see one, and he looks at you for about 10 minutes. Or rather, it seems as though he does it for 11 and a half. And then he sort of turns his head to the side. It then rattles back up forward facing again. And he rattles it and rattles it and rattles it as he looks at you. And then he turns around and runs away.
I'll try and look at where he must have been looking at when he turned his head.
He was looking right at you over from this position. And then once he was done rattling his head, he ran away that way.
Didn't he turn his head at one point?
He did not look to the left or the right. Pitch your... okay, so I'm gonna call this rotation because his jaw moved to the left and the top of his head moved to the right of where he was sitting. So he basically rotated it like a clock face and then he rattled it forward. If anybody has seen Princess Mononoke, they'll know exactly what I'm on about.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. Got it.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, that's just what you notice in your watch.
I'll keep that in mind for now.
All right, excellent. Dawn comes and yeah, Niles is pretty happy that you guys might leave. He's confident that you're going to be out purging the undead as and where you find it. He is confident and comfortable that he can draw you in when he needs you, and he feels as though he can trust you. So he's going to let you go. And he's, you're going to be allowed to explore, Chult some more. Now, here you guys are at Port Vengeance, and Ekane Afa is going to, she's going to direct a path. She's going to basically start relaying to you what your path is going to be like. We won't be going towards the high-rising plateaus of Mumbala. We'll be giving that whole place a miss. It's nothing you want up there, trust me. We will be going 100 miles in this direction. At that point, we should be nice and close. All clear?
Sounds
Crystal.
good with me.
Alright.
It will take 10 days of travel. Alrighty. So, again, I'm going to move you guys. And it's up to you to keep tabs on where you think you are. Alrighty. So, first day. Second day. Third day. Fourth day. Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a cheat because you can see some of the tiles as I remove them. Boop, boop, boop. Let's move you out of the way. Pop. Pop. Tap. You're finally carving away through the jungle. Whoops. That back. Alrighty, so through treacherous jungle and with a small little streaming river, just a small one, beginning to come into sight as you begin to follow it around. Apparently, sort of, Eku explains that it is a small contributory river that feeds into the River Taff down south of here. You guys spend the next 10 days getting to know your newcomer, Nesserin, nice and personally, and you get to cover across this Mist Cliff Mountains, using them as guidelines as you certainly make your way further and across. Now then, excuse me, let me just get some different music going. If it loads. Okay, where are we? Is that just the same tune? Alright.
It's-
That's neat.
Just getting my info up. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Yes! So, as you guys approach, a massive brick and stone ziggurat rises from the jungle. Two staircases angle up and across the front face, one from the right and the other from the left, to meet at a landing on the second level, 30 foot above your heads. The layout repeats on the second level and the third level, but with each successive layer adding less height than the one below it. The fourth level, 60 feet above the jungle floor, is an enclosed shrine or temple, its walls adorned with labyrinth symbols. The jungle encroaches right up to and onto this ancient structure. The first flights of steps are choked with creepers, tree roots, and flowering vines. It might have been surrounded by a city long ago, but the jungle is so dense that it would take hours of searching to find buried foundations and tumbled stones. Aku turns to you and goes, the guide is at the top of this tower. Or rather, the oracle is at the top of the tower. The ziggurat will test you. If you are of good spirits, then you will be allowed to meet her at the top.
Then we shall climb.
Eku basically seemingly draws out a coconut that she kept on her person. She makes herself comfortable with a seat, takes out some sunglasses or maybe just a leaf that she then... Yeah, she takes a banana leaf. She tucks it like a visor, like a visor she puts behind her ears and then ties in front of her eyes to make some sort of like shade for them. And then she just basically keeps back and she lets you guys explore. There is no map. Everything I do here, I must relay to you through what I describe to you.
Well, you'll be a long way.
I bet there's plenty of treasure up top.
I
Gold.
believe you should stay down here. She said it'll test if of good spirit.
I feel like
You feel what?
I feel like we should take him along anyway.
All
Or
right.
her, I should say. Sorry, my bad.
You think it's the best?
Just
I think this one has good potential.
Okay.
Just watch your fingers. Don't grab anything shiny unless we're allowed to take it. Stealing is wrong.
Touch
of course,
nothing
of
but
course.
the lamp! Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
With this, Nesrin kind of just puts both hands in her pockets and just shrugs.
Good choice. So we'll start the climb.
Alright, so you begin to ascend the first steps. So, right as you get to here, okay, so yeah, you begin to make your way to the first steps of the level. Who goes first, please?
I will.
Who is that, sorry?
Pelagius.
Pelagius, nice one. So these steps are 50 foot long and rise 30 feet. They are entangled with roots, vines, and creepers that cover these steps. So you manage to move through the first 10 feet, and it is difficult terrain. Your feet are getting caught up in all of the footholds and wiggly roots that try to trip you over. And after you get to, past that point, you begin to find your feet are getting scratched by nicking, curling, nasty thorns. Do you continue?
Yes, it's nothing that my shoes can't handle.
Alright, 10 feet further through the prickling, nasty foliage. Despite how confident you are in your armor and whatnot, for every foot of you take, you are jabbed with a nasty, sharp, slashing root. After 10 feet past, well, 20 feet past from the 20 feet in through the 50 feet you have to travel, you take 10 points of slashing damage. Do you wish to concede or proceed?
Druid, can you do anything about this?
Not necessarily. Can I check to see if like these vines are like magically made or if they're like natural?
Do you have well, I take it you have Arcana or Nature, right?
Yeah, I have nature, yes.
Do you have proficiency with Arcana?
No.
Alright, then just give me a Nature check, please.
Nope.
Alright, so you believe that these are naturally growing thorns.
I wouldn't be able to.
Can we
I mean,
cut them out of our way?
You may certainly begin to try if you want to, yes.
Yes.
I mean, I have find traps, but I guess we already know where this is.
And it might take us more effort than it's worth to cut all these vines down.
Would you care to try, Pelagius?
I'm not one to hurt plants. They were here much longer than me.
Wow, okay. Alright, well, you are 20 foot past some stairs of enchoking, slicing, thorny foliage. How do you proceed?
We're going to bleed out before we even get to the top if we don't manage a way around the vines.
We've gone this far as well. Is there any way I can place my shield down and walk on it and get a little further?
I would allow you to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild surf down, but not upstairs.
Okay. Can I see how far the thorns go?
Yes, the thorns continue another 30 feet past this point, only looking more dense and savage.
Is there like another way to go up, like on the side, which is more?
There are no stairways that are made for you. There is foliage and whatnot that seems to encircle around, the Ziggurat, all the way to some of the upper portions of the structure. But I mean, it's possible you guys could cast a fly spell on yourselves, or throw a grapple hook up and climb up the sides if you're able. Certainly.
So what about
We have a
if?
grappling hook. We can do that.
Yeah, what about if the druid turns into a spider and picks up the grappling hook or the rope and climbs up, and then we can climb through the rope?
You'd very much have to see how that works out.
I guess I could always give that a try.
Absolutely. So, do you do a wild shape over there, Ilofil?
I do, yes.
Excellent. So, Pelagius, you kind of stay still. The vines don't encroach upon you further while you stay put, as you're not sort of scraping up against them. Yeah, Lofiel, you turn into a great big hairy spider, while one of your friends puts one of the bits of rope into your mouth, as you have the grapple hook there, and you begin to walk with it. You approach the ziggurat from the side. No staircase there, but you're running adjacent to it. And you begin to climb up. Either side of the ziggurat, there is overhanging vines and leaves and branches that cling tightly, but you can still see the ziggurat continue to rise up. From where you see, you can't see the top of the ziggurat. And as you continue to climb, you push by branches and other leaves to look further in, and you continue to climb, and you continue to climb. At this point, the end of the grappling hook is no longer able to reach whoever's holding the bottom of it. Does somebody let go, or do you continue to climb? Hello, Phil.
So I'm climbing the side of this thing and I can't even see the top of it at all.
Yes, but that's no fault of your own. That is because there is a lot of foliage on either side that chokes up the view, just enough to hint and peek at daylight, peeking in through there, but you can't see the very tip because of all the leaves that are growing against the side.
I'm gonna at least try to get to the top of it and get a better vantage point to see what we're going up against.
You absolutely do. You continue up and you push more leaves past. And then, much to your surprise, when you approach the ziggurat, the stairs were on the left-hand side. And when you check back, you now find that the stairs are on your right-hand side. And when you peek over, you can see that Pelagius is still at the same height as you were when you last checked in on him.
What? So I'm literally beside him now, but just on the wall, or?
You climbed up the right-hand side of the ziggurat, adjacent to the stairs. After continuing to climb, you seem to have found yourself on the left-hand side of the ziggurat, adjacent to the stairs.
Okay, so it's kind of like I did nothing. Like I made no progress. I'm basically on the same level.
Incorrect. It's as though when you did continue to make progress, you ended up on another side. You walked straight up, but you came out the other side of the ziggurat.
Oh.
So that doesn't make sense, does it?
So you walk up and you came out left.
That's correct.
Okay. So
You get lost.
yeah, I'm trying to. If there was an image of the ziggurat that we have that we're climbing, I wish then it would be better. But
Would have been good, but they don't provide one. But
Yeah.
what you just have to imagine is a tall iron pen. I don't know. I think it's the iron pen they call it in America. Right across from the statue of Abraham Lincoln, I believe. So you're talking about a large, very vertical, but still pyramid-shaped structure. And only on the north face of that structure, you have
You mean the
a...
Washington Monument?
Sorry?
You mean the Washington Monument?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
you're
the
referring
one.
to? Yeah.
I'm thinking of National Treasure, where they called it the Iron Pen. And you may not have
I
even
was
found
like,
that.
wait.
Yeah.
I know. I was lost for a second too. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, National Treasure, American knowledge, but so you've got a kind of pyramid-like building, but not pyramid in that it has very sloped all the way around.
Like
it
a
is only
Mesopotamian?
sloped around the front of it. The front of it is sloped forward, with stairs that kind of rise into its face until you guys rise to the very top. The other
Right.
sides of the ziggurat are not stair appropriate. They are just other portions to it.
And I'm on that side?
Yes,
Okay.
and you came out, or came from, one of the other sides.
Okay. So, are there like thorns and vines on this side too then, or?
Yes, they are. Yes. As you guys would look at this building from the front on, it appears to be very symmetrical. From where you are, Mr. Climbing Giant Spider, the thorns are now on your right-hand side. And if you continue to climb, the other staircases will also continue to come to your right-hand side, because you're on the left-hand side of the building climbing up. When you started, you were on the right-hand side of the building climbing up, with the staircases on your left. Also,
Okay.
just to clarify, when you enter the building, the stair slopes both left and right at the same time, curl around the edges, and double back onto themselves before repeating the process for the second, third, and fourth level.
Okay. So I basically see, like, we basically have to climb the stairs. Like, there's no way to get to the top without climbing the stairs, basically, because.
That you can come to that assumption, yes, because after what you've just seen, you definitely feel like someone's messing with your mind, that you seem to have found yourself in that position.
Right, okay. Well, I'll just climb all the way back to my comrades and relay that information.
Yeah, be sure to roleplay that. Be roleplaying that if you like.
Okay, so I'm gonna, like, climb over the ridge of the staircase and wild shape back. And I'm gonna shake my head and I say, there's just vines everywhere. It's like I came out one side and then I came out the other, and there's no end to it.
This is strange.
This is madness.
Madness. This is Sparta!
There's some.
Kolos is going to get bored and throw the alchemist fire at the brambles well in front of him.
Awesome! Mr. Pelagius, could you please make me a dexterity saving throw made with disadvantage, please? As alchemist fire just got entangled across with you. Excellent! Would you please like to roll 2d4 for your alchemist fire, whoever's throwing it, please? I didn't. Is it Artemis
There we
who's throwing the alchemist fire?
No, I'm not throwing it on.
It's
Yeah.
Kolos.
Ah, Kolos. All right, yes. So Kolos just basically goes, "Stuff this," and just throws that flask of alchemist fire. When it hits the side, just higher up onto the walkway, the fires erupt in first a clink of breaking glass, and then into a whoosh of burning, erupting fire that begins to entangle wonderfully around the very living bramble and whatnot. But it still ignites and it still continues to burn on fire. It's alchemical process burning the brambles across. And Pelagius, you find yourself getting caught up in this until you kind of step back. So, not only do you take 4 points of damage, Pelagius, of fire damage, you then take another 10 points of piercing damage as you come back down through the sharp bramble. All in all, taking 24 from when you started. Now, as the bramble continues to burn, it goes from a red flame to a greenish flame. Very much Maleficent style. You know, they twist and curl as they snap and break. But they also then continue to regrow, literally through some of its all still burning kindling. And within like a minute later, the thing begins to regrow just as fast as it's burning.
So, if Eku said this is a test of spirit, then that means perhaps we have to keep going. There's no way if and or buts about it.
Well, at this point, when you get back, you kind of run out from the fire. You look at Kolos as you may be like, dude, I was in there. You know? And you kind of come out and you put your hands to your knees. And as you do so, you recognize a little Twinger. The same one you saw before. But this time, it seems as though you can recognize the kind of mask he's wearing. He seems like he's wearing some sort of little chameleon skull, or it's a mask, that resembles a triceratops. and he looks at you, and he seems to be carrying a large orange and purple orchid. He wields it like it's a broadsword, and as you lean down to look at him, he kind of takes the broadsword of this orchid and he plaps you right on the nose. It does no damage. He just kind of like pop. He just gently bats the flower right at your nose. Then, having done that, he kind of silently screams in a barbarian-like rage, and he charges the footsteps, taking twice as long as it takes for you just to walk to the footsteps, because he's freaking tiny. But he continues to raise his orchid broadsword up into the air as he charges the brambles. And as he does so, the brambles immediately part right around him and reclose right after him. And he continues to make his way all the way up there before he kind of comes to the top, and he kind of dips underneath a loose brick, kind of disappears.
I shall use Cure Wounds in order to heal myself a bit more, and then charge after him, imitating him.
Alright, excellent. Excellent, yes. Let's deal with your Cure Wounds. Let's see how much you get back. Also, you've gone a little bit quieter for me, so let's make you a little bit louder. Boop. Excuse me, that was a burp. Alright, so 3 hit points to counter the 24 that you have lost. 21 lost in this case then. So yes, you attack the brambles yet again. You go charging straight for them, Pelagius. Sword raised high as you charge on gloriously. The brambles do not move for you though, as they continue to stab and tear at your legs. You go through it. You are 10 feet into the spiky damaging part, having taken 10 more points of slashing damage. Do you want to proceed?
I'll stand where I'm at and just say I don't know what went wrong.
Yeah, at this
There
point,
must be
yeah.
something.
Are you at 5 HP left already?
Yeah.
Oh damn, yeah.
Can I see any sort of familiar orchid in the surroundings?
I will
Like
allow
that
you
the
to.
Chwinga had?
Yeah. So you're looking for a purple and orange orchid.
Yeah.
I will allow you to. Yeah, you have the proficiency in the nature skill. Yeah. So you go into the jungle and you look around a bit. Your druidic senses giving you little sniffs of the flower and helping you guide yourself that way. It takes you 30 minutes, but you do find a collection of the very beautiful, kind of delicious looking flowers, you know. Their colors are very luxurious. They're very gummy colored, you know, bright and fully saturated, shifting from the inner purples to the outer oranges. Very nice. But there is enough orchids for everybody to get one.
I'll take those back to the companions, to my companions, and I say, I found some of the familiar flowers. Perhaps this is the key.
Sure, we can try that.
And I look at Pelagius and I say, maybe I should go first this time. Wouldn't want you falling face first into thorns.
That's alright. I'll stay right here.
So I'll kind of I'll hold my I'll hold my orchid like a long blade, I guess. And as much as I can. These are probably pretty small, hey?
The bloom of your staff. Lay on hands for myself. What did you say you were up to?
Oh, I was just saying that I want to take the orchid that I have and wield it kind of like a longsword, if at all possible, like the Chwinga did.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. You can totally do that, and seeing as you are the druid in your hand, it does kind of grow to long swordish size, certainly. And yeah, you have no problem sorting that out. When you do approach the bramble of orchid, of whatnot, when you approach it, the brambles do begin to part, and you are able to ascend easily and without getting any kind of pain.
All right, then I run all the way to the top like the Chwinga did.
You do so, and you are past it.
Can you please toss Serena flowers, Mr. Drew? I don't want to be here
Yes.
any longer.
Yeah, he gave us some, I think.
I gave you guys some already.
Oh yeah. Then I'll follow him past the thorn.
I follow behind them.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah, so as you guys all approach this Palladius, you having been hurt, you heal points and self. But no, you all will be allowed through your little orange and purple orchids, allowing you to pass by without the brambles coming in as they all part for you.
Clerk, could you fix me up a bit? I'm kind of hurt.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I can cast Healing Word. That helps.
That'll help.
All right.
Anything helps.
Yeah, I don't use my spells too often, so.
I can cast a healing word also.
Alright, I'll cast it at level 2.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I like you rolled max and you rolled minimum. Alrighty. The second steps. These ascend from level 1 to level 2 and are 30 feet long and rise 20 feet. So at this point you guys are already 30 feet high off the ground, and you're still rising the very tall Ziggurat. The stone is crumbling from age and decay, from what you can see, and the gravelly kind of like lineup of stones before you appears to be pretty loose and wobbly. How do you guys proceed?
I'm gonna jab my staff, like prod at the stone a little bit, and see how loose it is.
So as you prod and pry at the stone, it doesn't seem to give way to you yet. It seems to hold strong against your prodding staff, though it wobbles a little bit.
I stand next to him and cast Find Stripes.
Alright, very nice. You sense the person's burning sharp within range, line of sight. Yeah. Would inflict a sudden or unexpected offense. Yeah. Yeah. You don't learn the location of each trap, but you do learn the general nature and its danger possessed. Okay. Yeah. This is a trap, and you are aware that these stones, unless a certain condition is met, will give way to you.
I start with the others. Be
Unless
careful.
a certain condition is met.
Can we try to see if there's any kind of levers or mechanics in the room?
Well,
Something
there's
to,
no
you
room.
know.
You're all outdoors, walking across an outdoor staircase,
Okay.
essentially. So you're not
Okay.
indoors.
I
Alright,
take a
is there-
closer look at everything and try to see if there's any way to, like, if there's anything we can do or something that we're missing.
In case the floor gives way, we should all tie ourselves to each other. So if one falls, we can save them.
Yes, and if
That's
you do
smart.
fall, you'll fall down to where the other laying of stairs are. So let's see, you rise about 5 feet, you'd fall about 10 or so to the bramble that's beneath. But the bramble will part, given that you all hold your purple and orange orchids.
Does the orchid only need to be on our person, or do we have to have it out to be able to push the vines back?
You have to have it out.
Okay.
You have to hold it.
Hold. Okay.
I say, Artemis, did you find anything?
I don't know. Did I find anything?
let's have. Well, you already know there's traps, and you look around, but you don't see anything. No, you don't see anything aside from the steps themselves. You do, however, see one particular step that looks hardier than the others. Just factionally, but it looks like maybe if you do a little bit of a hopscotch to that side, you will be fine.
How many
Okay.
steps is it up?
How many steps is it up? It's a 33-foot long, 20-foot rising staircase.
It's like hopping stones. We just have to hop to the right stone to make it up.
Essentially.
Can we? Is there anything we can perceive? Like, if we look at the stones, can we sort of tell which ones might seem stronger to support our weight?
Based on their coloration and from what you can understand of stonework. Yes. We have a dwarf with us. Which is Epicus. And Epicus, you have advantage when it comes to history checks made to discern the quality and nature of stone, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yes, why don't you give me a history check with that to be the party's stone strength tester. Excellent. So basically, you are pretty convinced that all of these stones are going to crumble. How quickly they can do that while somebody is hopscotching across them, you're unsure of. But you're pretty confident that, no, these are pretty shoddy stones. They will slip, they will give way, and that's what you can discern with that kind of check.
But not the ones that look more stable, right? Or...
No, you believe all those stones are all wobbly. You believe they're all kind of going to give way at some point or another. You figure that somebody could hopscotch potentially across them, but after every hopscotch, they kind of leave like a trail of destroyed bricks as they go. You don't imagine that a passage could be made safely across these easily. But it does seem like it's the only path left available to you.
Okay.
Where's
by the
the
way-
little friend when we need him?
That is a good question.
How long is this?
30 feet
Oh,
long.
yeah.
33 feet long.
We could always
Well-
throw the door.
We could throw the dwarf.
I'm not that. I'm not a bit. I'm a bit heavy. Don't.
Well, if one person could make it up the stairs before all the rocks crumbled below them, they could throw a rope from the higher elevation down to the rest of the group, and we can
Yeah.
climb
Or
up.
we can shoot the rope over with a bow.
Yeah.
Oh, we
and
could do
air.
that. And all we have to do is to start the avalanche, or of the steps, and then we'll have a clear path to climb up the wall.
Alright, excellent. So, yes, that seems like a suitable plan. Who would like to mount their grappling hook, they got back from a low frill, over to their crossbow, and who wants to make the shot?
I'll make a shot.
I'm very Kolos is very good with archery. They can try and shoot with bow and arrow instead of a.
Oh, they do the arcane shots, so yeah, that's all cool.
Okay.
In that case, Kolos will shoot it.
Some guidance.
Alright, yeah, guy, yeah. I like this, so let's have an attack roll.
1 second.
Excellent. Excellent. So that's exactly what I wanted. The attack is successful. It goes right up to the third floor, otherwise, 20 feet above your heads, and it latches around perfectly fine. Roll me a d4 as well, please. It matters in part.
It's rolling.
Excellent. I see there's a d4 there. It's also a 1. Nice one. So yeah, it hooks around to the top of the third platform, and yeah, you give it a little pull to test, and it holds up just fine. Who would like to climb it?
I can climb it.
Who's that, sorry?
Nezrin.
Nesrin, excellent, thank you. So yeah, you take the mantle. You go, nah, I got this, guys, and you grab the rope and you begin to climb up. Now this approach doesn't go across the crumbling stairs. Instead, you're going to the next platform above you, as it were, and you go for it. And as you do so, just as you're about to put your hand over to the top of the ledge, the whole thing gives way, and you fall 20 feet down to the lower platform, but where your friends are. We shall now roll the falling damage.
Alright.
14 points of bludgeoning damage is issued to you.
I'd like to...
Ah, lovely! You saw that you were the man for the job, lady for the job. Yeah, absolutely. You falling damage equal. So yeah, how much feet can you ignore? 20?
Yes.
Excellent. Very nice. Very, very nice. Also, if you do, I don't know how you did that function with the little circle, but if you put it in a closed bracket, 2 closed brackets, you can put it as part of the description. But maybe that doesn't matter too much. That works just fine.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
Oh, it's nothing to be sorry about. It's just advice. It's something you can choose to do or not do. Whatever.
Alright.
That being said,
You'll have
no,
to show me that later.
I will, yes. But for now, you go and get almost there, and then, and while you're lying there on the ground, like arms splayed in a perfect chalk drawing outline of someone that fell to their death, you know, you see a Twinger kind of poke at your cheek as they look right at you. And this Twinger happens to have another mask on, different from before. This one seems to have a chameleon's head for a mask. It has an orange and purple orchid, but it also has a red parrot feather. And when it sees you, it takes the feather and it tickles it into your ear.
She sort of just tries to gently push the little creature away as it's tickling her ear, confused at what it's trying to do to her.
Yeah, when you do that, it kind of gives a silent jump, but bats you with its mighty orchid as it then starts to run away towards the steps. As it does so, the steps do not crumble, and it races up the steps with ease, as it seemingly tiptoes and hops across the pebbles, as if as light as a feather on the fragile stones.
I'm starting to see a pattern.
Yes.
Okay.
We need to find these little creatures to give us these magical items so we can proceed for each platform.
And perhaps maybe we won't need them next time if we think really hard about what we need. And Elithiel kind of looks up and looks for a red parrot.
Or you could become the red parrot.
Yeah.
No, you are not. You are not plucking feathers from me.
Why not?
If it would get us up there quicker without killing us.
I have a feather. I mean, how many feathers do we need?
We'll need
I think
5.
you cannot one shot 2 flying things until level 8.
Yeah.
You have to be a premature, semi-dead red parrot, is what you're saying. You need to be a wingless red parrot. That being said, after a minute of searching, you will find a collection of red parrot feathers, on a little branch that has a nest. And that nest is vacated, but within that nest, you will find a collection of red parrot feathers.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay. Well, there we are. Let's we get them from the nest and distribute it amongst the party.
Yes.
Stick one in your hat and call it macaroni.
What do you guys hold as you attempt these steps?
I
Well,
hold
first you hold
the
the
orchid,
orchid,
and then the feather.
and then the feather to climb the rambly part.
So, do you just hold the feather, or do you hold the orchid and the feather?
We hold both.
Excellent! You
Yes.
gently tiptoe across the bricks as they barely shudder underneath your very weightless bulk, barely shifting. And you make yourself up to the third platform. At this third platform, that rises about 20 feet along, Olofril, you begin to shudder. You can see that along this third set of steps, the staircases that are in excellent condition are utterly swarmed with nothing but poisonous snakes. Swarms
Elithiel,
and swarms of poisonous snakes.
Elithiel, you guys would see, like, he was always serene in times of trouble, but now you start to see him, like, shudder and sweat.
Are you okay, Druid?
Snakes.
I thought you Druids were friends to all animals.
A snake killed one of my proteges when I was back on the Sword Coast.
That is very terrible news. But snakes are something to be admired. But I feel there's a trick to this, so I shall not pick one up as I usually would.
It's kind of like an Ace Ventura, but with bat situation now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Is there anything about the snakes in Volo's guide? Can we read that real quick?
Hang on, can I, let me just, I want to see if I can get this. Please make it be a thing. Oh, that's not it. Come on. Yes! Okay, yes. So, you consult Volos Guides to Monsters. Excellent, so what you found is a swarm of poisonous snakes. The swarms present here aren't ordinary or benign assembled of little creatures. They form a result of a sinister, wholesome influence. These swarms kind of come together and, like, seem to collect and gather, usually through a force, either mating or through some other magical will, if you like. You know that these, hang on. I'm looking for an actual, I want it as it comes in the anime.
Let's see. Pachirisu, the Ella Squirrel Pokemon.
A little bit. You know, I'm not gonna get it. You know, we've had our fun. But either way, no, these poisonous snakes are indeed very poisonous. As a swarm, they are particularly powerful. At their whole might, they can do much more damage than if they were half picked off. And yeah, they are all capable of poison. There's not much else to share aside from that. But Volos will even go as far as to say, snakes, they suck. And that's it.
Elithiel kind of pulling himself together, he would say, we should probably look around to see if we can find any sort of trinket or some sort of item that would help us through this.
Now, after you do have a moment of examining the stairs, 1 minute between a blink, without you having to take the situation on first, a Twinger comes out. This one has a mask that resembles a mongoose face, and it carries a red parrot feather and an orange and purple orchid. It stands there at the bottom step, and the Twinger whacks a snake nearby with its orchid, and he definitely whacks it with a very enthusiastic sort of child with an inflatable hammer, sort of bap, 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 and he kind of gets that snake hissing at it and getting angry at it, and he lures that snake to him. The snake perfectly at a size to eat up that little Twinger as he likes. But then when the snake comes by, the Twinger then brings forward the parrot feather, and he slides it across the creature's neck, and the snake begins to calm down, and it relaxes, and then it lies down facing the snake. This is the Twinger. After the snake is calm, it lies down in front of it, whereupon, of course, the reptile crawls through the mouth of the mask and slides inside the Twinger's mouth. The Twinger, of course, then slithers up the steps like a snake, untroubled by any of the other poisonous snakes.
Pelagius immediately starts tickling Snake with the feather.
Excellent. I'm surprised you weren't at all dismayed at the Alright, never mind, yeah.
I love snakes.
I've
Alright,
seen some shit.
the snakes
I've
don't
seen
look
some
like
shit.
you as you missed a step. You forgot to bap it with the orchid.
You forgot to bap.
That is your AC 18?
Yes, it meets my.
Excellent. You take 4 piercing damage and make me a constitution saving throw, please. Excellent. You pass. You take 6 poison damage. 10 in total. Are you still alive?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
I'm gonna go over to Pelagius and I'm gonna kind of shake my finger teasingly and I say, "You forgot to bap it with the orchid, you know." And I'm gonna go up to one of the snakes and, steeling myself against all the thoughts of my protege, I gently bap the snake with my orchid, and
Starts
then once
hissing
he's
at you,
lured out,
rising up and flaring its cobra-like sides. Continue.
and I gently tickle it under in the same spots that the Chwinga did in the previous example.
Oh yes, no. The snake definitely lulls softly, and it sways as the little feather tickles around its scales and whatnot. And yeah, the snake appears to be relaxed.
And so I kind of lay down stomach first, facing the snake.
All right. The snake begins to slither alive down your throat. Make me a constitution saving throw, please. Excellent. You give a bit of a but you keep that snake down. And of course, all that's left is for you to slither up the stairs.
And I do so.
As a full humanoid, as you begin to slither and roll around saying, "I'm a sneaky, sneaky snake."
That could have been less embarrassing if you actually turned into a snake yourself.
Yeah, but he... oh no, you know... He
But it
did-
wouldn't have worked. It could have. It maybe wouldn't have worked. You know.
I mean, after eating the snake,
Oh, yeah.
become a snake yourself instead of slithering up there looking like an idiot.
Yeah, there was that
Hey.
possibility. You had a... Do you have a second wild shape?
I do have a second one, but I don't want to use it just yet.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you could totally be a snake, yeah. Alright, that's you up there. Let's
I'll-
have Frederick.
I'll start bapping it with the orchid, saying,
Yes.
"You forgot to bap, you know," mimicking the druid.
Yeah, bit of sass in there, like it, yeah. And then, what next?
Follow with tickling it with the feather, just as the druid and the Tringa did.
Very good. And now...
And then lie down and open my mouth, saying, "Come on!" Really open mouth.
Just
Come
as you're
on,
saying,
get in
come
already.
on, you kind of go, come on, and the snake begins to just like invade your senses. Make me a Constitution saving throw. Oh yeah, you stomach that snake, and actually you're just like, I like them when they're wiggling. And yes, you may now begin to go up the stairs, but I command that you do have to say, "I'm a sneaky, sneaky snake."
I'm a sneaky snake.
Very nice, very nice. You make it up the stairs successfully, undeterred. Who's next?
Nezra comes up and gives a little heavy sigh, takes out the orchid and finds the nearest snake, pops it
Yep.
lightly on the head, and begins to tickle it with the feather, just as the others had done. And she takes a deep sigh, lays down on the ground, and goes, "Well, fuck's sake, I've had worse," and opens her mouth.
Yeah. Right at I've had worse. Just again. And yep. Now I'm gonna check something. on
Okay.
you. Yes. Yes. You specifically do not list evil. So, make me a Constitution saving throw. Alrighty. That is a pass, but there's a bit more. That snake was not comfy. Perhaps. And, yeah, what do you do next?
I'm gonna walk past the snakes in a sneaky snake way.
You walk past the snakes.
Crawl
You
like a snake, slither.
crawl. Is that your final answer? You slither like a snake.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
you.
just
What
scared
kind
now.
of snake?
You indistinguishably slither amongst the snakes. Neither crawling like a snake or walk like a snake, you slither like a snake. And you make your way up there, safely and soundly. Alrighty.
Colossus will follow suit, smack with the orchid, and tickle with the feather.
Constitution saving throw, please.
Well, but first she's gonna pick it up by the tail and say, "It's just like eel," and then drop it down her mouth.
Oh yeah, totally. The snake's up for it. It's a very dangly, floppy snake. It's not an erect snake. Yep. Yeah, they will have an easy time with that snake because they are used to eels and they're just like, oh, yeah, pretty simple. And then they swim quite naturally because it's not so akin off from swimming, you know? Now all that's left is a Pekis.
Yeah. The same. He finds a snake, takes out the orchid, and bumps it, and then takes out the feather and tinkles it, and opens the mouth.
Alright, excellent. Make me a Constitution saving throw. Excellent! Nobody gets any psychic damage. You're fine, and you all slither up there pretty fine and whatnot. You guys make it to the 4th floor, whereupon you see a shrine. The shrine atop the Ziggurat is a simple rectangular structure of brick. The outside walls are decorated with labyrinth symbols of Uptal, which all appear like mazes and whatnot. And beyond the open doorway is a barren, dusty room. But I noticed that between you there is several that has a passive perception score of more than 13. And for those of you who do have that, you note a higher notes of aroma of incense in here.
Either someone was in here or... I mean, someone could have been in here.
Yeah, let's be careful.
Hopefully it's the Oracle.
I hope so too.
Can
Hopefully.
we look for traps? See if there's any hidden dangers?
From what you can see, it appears to be a completely barren room right in front of you.
Just with the smell of incense.
Yes.
Well, I suppose we should probably go in.
What is the incense? I mean, I guess what does the incense smell like?
Could we take a
Incense.
bit of a rest? It's been a long
Huh.
staircase.
It's been a long staircase. Sure, you guys can grab a short rest if you like. Get a long rest, I don't care.
Alright, I will play a bardic Song of Rest.
Excellent. Alrighty.
Short rest. Alright, well, it's an extra 3
Alrighty
Alright.
then.
health.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So, yeah. You guys get in a rest, and the empty room continues to just lay barren before you. Nothing changes and nothing shifts. What do you guys get up to?
We should go in.
Should I try again to detect any traps?
You're welcome to.
What do you guys think?
It's worth a try.
It'd be beneficial.
Yes. We don't want to get ourselves caught out since we've made it this far.
You
Okay.
don't detect any traps.
Okay.
Well, let's get on with it then.
Alright. You guys pass into the empty chamber, and then reveal into a splash of several wonderful colors. Hanging lamps illuminate the room, while incense burners fill it with exotic scents and curling smoke. Cushions and plastered walls and singing birds flit from plant to plant. An immense snake with iridescent scales rise on a heap of cushions opposite the doorway. It rises slowly to a height of 5 feet, staring directly into your eyes as it moves. Its face is remarkably human-like, and its tongue forks as it speaks. I am Saja Nabaza. What do you seek in this ancient place? Speak truly, for I hear your heart.
We are seeking the source of the death curse. Something called a soulmonger.
Let me just see. Let me just see. Okay. Okay, so yes, the soulmonger. She will reply that, I don't know the thing you said. I have not seen it in my visions, which is very peculiar.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah, that's
That's totally normal. Everything's fine.
But instead of green, it's pink and red. But with a face like that still, yeah. By all means, continue to control.
You haven't. You can't see it. You can't see where the soulmonger is or know anything of it.
I have not heard of this through my visions, no. My visions show me of the lost city of Omu, to the south of Chot, where Raz Nisi and his Yanti followers are scheming to end of the world from their lair in Omu. The Walker of the Wild knows what I speak of.
And Elithio kind of
Go on. Sorry.
looks down. Yes, I do know.
Raz Nisi bears the mark of a blue triangle. You have seen it before. Do you guys remember where you've seen a blue triangle?
At the when we're fighting the Gorillon and them.
That's right. You saw them on their foreheads, tattooed on. And the Naga continues that. Oh. Okay, yeah. So she basically will go on to say, "Tell me about the death curse and the soulmonger."
From how it was explained to us from our benefactor, the death curse is causing people who have been revived to slowly fade away, as well as people who are dead cannot be revived. We don't know much else. The soulmonger is supposedly the source from a evil necromancer.
Ah! I do know something. I do know something, yes. Between the peaks of flame and the valley of lost honor, sunken beneath the jungle, there lies a great evil, a great necromantic power. Beneath the Yanti and beneath their worship of Dendar the Night Serpent, there is something underneath. Something sunken dark and dank beneath the ground.
Sorry, he said between the peaks of flame and...
Sunken beneath the jungle,
Yes,
they worship the night serpent.
that's right. But it can all be found in the city of Omu. The lost city of Omu. That is where your path must take you.
So-
Yeah, go on.
Question: how do we find the lost city of Omu?
There are few that know of it, but there is one deeper within my chambers who has come by. He can take you there, or he can assist you there. But be warned, he will not trust one of you.
Oh, great. Why do I get the feeling it's me?
Hey, is that true?
And who is this guide?
He is not so much a guide as he is a lone traveler, along with his scaly friend. He is but a lost soul that is bound by honor to good-inclined people. So long as you mean well, he may risk his neck for yours.
It's a lot to risk if it's as long as yours.
Hee Clever.
I suppose we don't really have a choice.
Maybe ask yet another question.
Yes. Ask before you leave, for once you leave, there can be no return here.
There is a guardian named Vorn, and we were instructed to try and find something that can control it. Would you happen to know where that something might be?
I do know exactly where that something might be. The Balti goblins revere it as a god. They clear out the forest near it, and they leave it sparse, providing offerings. It is no more a god than a statue, with a long-dead master that fancied himself a monkey. He climbed a tree, fell from it, hit his head, and promptly drowned in his bed of death. The poor fool was a magician, and that was his guardian. Some would call it a shield guardian. It protected him, but with its master dead, the automaton remains years later, unmoving, awaiting new orders from one who would control it.
We'll try and make sense of this information. Thank you.
But where it is, you already know, and you can see that it's already marked on your map over here. So basically, what this translates to is that at that site there is a shield guardian, a NPC that is a like animated armor, but it requires its magic user, which it usually follows. Okango Tomu gave you the wizard spellbook, which had the spell to activate it, and basically you just need to take it to the shield guardian to get it moved. And you basically issue a command to it through the spell left in the book. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I have one last question for the.
I actually have another question as well, but you go ahead.
Naga.
Keep
Yes,
going.
oh, yeah, well,
Keep role-playing.
I have another. Yeah. Well, since you seem to know a lot, I have had a curse bestowed upon me. It seems that I have been slowed, and I cannot move as quickly as I would like to. Would you happen to know someone who could help me get rid of this curse?
The power that is put upon you is vast. It's greater than Toril, even. It is a power that has permeated into our world, and by its own power can you be undone. You and your friends must follow the rules, and you must finish what you started in order to finish its events.
Great. Do you know an undisclosed? Do you know a good location where we can do that and it won't like cause any problems or hurt anybody?
You're in the jungle. There's acres upon miles of vast, teeming, predatory wildlife, seeking to snap your neck and eat you alive. You would be opening up a predatorial power in what essentially is its home. You're not going to hurt others out here.
Alright, I get it. Stupid question.
It doesn't.
Alright.
It doesn't give you a look like, yeah, you are. It's a very understanding entity.
Ah.
But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so I kind of turn to whoever and tell them, like, ask your question.
I approach the snake and I asked a priest in Port Nyanzaru to have a vision about this city that you called Omu.
Yes.
And he told me that what I want to seek is there, but he also mentioned of a beating of Uptau's heart near Aldani Basin.
Yes.
I was wondering if you knew anything about that.
I do. It floats and is a mysterious piece of land. Maybe it is in fact the beating heart of Uptau. It most definitely resembles it. And she basically relays that you can find it towards the southeast of the Aldani Basin, and I'm just going to basically put it onto your map so you can see it over here. But basically,
yes.
she says it floats above the ground, and from there is a lone scout, cold, very cold. Perhaps
A lone what? Sorry?
a lone scout, searching and looking for a lost one.
The frost
what is
giant.
it?
No frost giant. Though they stalk the jungles too. Tell me, have you heard the name Artis Kimber?
Wasn't that the wizard of that one woman back at the tavern? Like, she was looking for him or something like that?
Was she?
Or am I mistaken?
Is there any fucking gold here? Honestly. Like, treasure? Do you have a map? mean,
The
what are
Guardian
we doing?
Naga approaches you, and she looks straight into your eyes as you're forced to stare back into those uncanny human ones with her own wrinkled lips and raspy forked tongue staring down at you as her hood basically takes up her view as she looks at you. She basically looks down at you and she carefully peers into your eyes. How do you respond?
Nezrin just stands there still, unflinching, staring right back.
The Naga, after seeing you stay put and you quietly do so, she goes forward and she says, it is not too late.
I believe it's the time you apologized.
No.
No, of course. Nezra puts out both arms wide and crosses her legs as a quick curtsy. Apologies. I was here hoping to find gold. That is why we have set out into the jungle. I meant no disrespect.
I wasn't disrespected. Gold wasn't what you were most interested in.
And how would you know what interests me?
I told you when you entered that I hear your heart. I can tell how it beats in your chest, and how your blood quickens, and your fingertips draw near their daggers, as you look to your allies and ponder about them when I say the name Artis Kaimba.
The name, it means nothing to me. I'm sorry, you must... In your old age, your wisdom, your thoughts betray you.
Now you have said a lie, which is what I can't have in here. And she turns to the rest of you guys as she says, anyone who lies in this place must not remain. You must push her out now if you wish to talk with me, or all be gone at once.
I have a question to that.
I will not answer any questions until you meet my demands.
Well, it kind of comes... It's a question to your demand, if you don't mind.
She must be pushed out of the doorway, whereupon she won't be able to return. But when we're done with our business, you'll be able to leave of your own free will.
I believe it's time you left, miss.
Alright. Gentlemen,
Just,
I come seeking treasure, gold, riches, and this beast here accuses me of what? Of not being true to my own greed?
Kolos holds a gold coin and then throws it out the door. He's like, "Go get it."
Listen.
Yes.
All right.
Nezrin.
I will ask. Then, like, so is that true? Is that why you're really here? And as I ask that, I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Excellent.
Oh.
Yeah. And the Naga repeats itself that it's not too late.
just go outside, and we'll
No.
catch you up.
This is foolish.
I want to hear what she has to say.
Alright.
This is...
So, you have two options now, Nesrin. And I'm sorry I brought this up so soon. This does come with this Naga. I appreciate what we discussed, but this Naga has this ability. You can choose to leave the premises or indulge the Zone of Truth. Or indulge in resisting it, even.
What would I...
If you save, you can privately roll me the details, actually. You can whisper the roll to me. And what's more, I will have it so that, for this occasion, Artemis, or who seems to be doing the Zone of Truth, won't be able to tell if you're resisting or not. And the only condition is that you can't speak a deliberate lie if you're inside the Zone of Truth.
Okay.
So it is a charisma saving throw.
If you
It is
choose
a-
to make one.
It would be... Okay, it would be charisma.
Yeah. You can make it
Um,
be an open roll, or you can make it a private whispered roll to me. Whatever goes for you, dude.
She is... I'm gonna do a private roll.
Okay. Hopefully this
Right,
works.
how do I... I'm not sure how to do that exactly.
Do a /W GM, and then do your roll.
Forward
That's
/ DM W,
Yeah.
and then roll charisma.
Yeah. I'm not sure how this is going to work. We'll have to see.
He
Alright,
could
this
always.
Go on, tell us
Yeah.
how it could be done. Okay, I see.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I don't think it would work if he clicked on the charisma saving throw, but like if he manually goes like this.
Oh no! If you go to your settings, you
Or,
can go
yeah.
to the top right, and then you'll see whisper rolls to GM, and
Ah,
then
yeah.
just you can toggle
Oh,
the
okay, never mind.
whisper toggle, and then you can have like a little.
Yeah,
thing
let's
now.
have
Okay.
you toggle that on for this role, because that's exactly what we're
Alright.
after.
And then
alright,
click on to GM, and then yeah, you're all set. Should
Just
be
a
highlighted
moment.
in red. You're all set.
No problem.
Just real quick, let's start from the top. It's under character sheet.
Yep. Go to character sheet. It's the gear, the settings.
Okay.
In the far right box, you should see like the box that says NPC at the top.
Oh,
you go
whisper
down,
roll.
Yep. Whisper rolls to GM.
And
You
then-
should see whisper toggle.
Yep.
And then you'll have a little bar at the top.
Okay, that says
And it-
public to GM. Okay.
Yep. So you want to click on so when you click on it, it should be highlighted in red, and that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Done. And I just roll my ability charisma.
Yep.
Okay.
Or you roll a saving throw. I don't think it makes a difference though. You're not
Okay.
proficient in charisma. I don't think. Not yet, anyway.
All right. So just do the saving throw. That cool with you, Alpha?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And I cannot tell a deliberate lie.
You cannot tell a deliberate lie.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm waiting on the result. Alright, result received. Let me just do a thing. Okay, so, where are we? Yes, Pelagius, you feel your magic take effect and take root in Nesserin, and you feel that their spirit has opened up to you. And you feel like your magic has overwhelmed them and has taken hold, and they must speak truthfully now.
You mean Artemis? Because that was me who did it.
Yeah, Artemis, I'm sorry. Zone of Truth is such a paladin spell, you know. I did see
Yeah.
you yesterday, Artemis. I just couldn't get my mind out of that stereotype. But, yeah, Nesserin, it's up to you how you want to roleplay this moment. The Naga has slithered back and has chosen not to get involved in this point.
Nezran looks to Artemis. You have a question for me, then?
Yes. So
Please. Go
why
ahead,
is it that
ask.
this? Yep. Why is it that this snake tells us that you're lying? What are you hiding from us?
I have lived many different lives. Orphan girl, under the care of a strict, watchful church leaders of the broken god. I have lived on the streets of Boulder. I have sailed the Sword Coasts. I've seen many things, and yes, I have heard of this name. And I fear it. He has with him some great power. And it's nothing that we should touch.
How do you know of his name?
Like I said, I've been a sailor. I've traveled to many ports. I believe he was quite famous at one point. Leader of some faction. You hear whispers in taverns all the time. Gossip flows more easily with more ale. And us sailors, we drink plenty of it. That's all. I just know we shouldn't deal with him.
That makes me even more worried. Because then why was Sandala, the girl that we met back at the tavern, looking for him?
I have no idea who Sandala is.
She was
And
a
I
girl with a familiar on her shoulder, and I kind of look at everyone else to see if they remember.
Yes, the one whose father's missing.
Well, I can tell you this. I have heard of no girl. This is the first I hear of it. All
Let
I'm
me,
saying is
one
we
second, Nesserin. 1 second, Nesserin. I must share
Yes.
something with you.
Yes.
Hang on.
Is it coming up over roll or Discord?
It's going to be whispered to you.
Okay, heard.
I'm pretty sure she was looking for him, Artis.
Yeah.
All right, proceed.
Although we don't know what her intentions are for finding
Yeah,
this
exactly.
person. All right. Another question. What exactly are you here for? Because it doesn't seem like gold is really the true answer here.
I have a price on my head. All I want to do is make sure it's taken off. And I need to acquire a precious item, valuable treasures from these jungles, and then I'll be able to sail back to Baldur's Gate and not have my head lopped off.
Oh. So you're from the Sword Coast.
Yes, sir.
As am I. Unfortunately, I was sucked into a board game and somehow brought here. So that's...
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a fun little thing.
Love story. And we all have them.
They have Jumanji, but the D&D Cholt G equivalent.
Gotcha.
You know what?
They
You
were
know what?
Jumanji.
Just while you're talking about it, the drums just seem to make a note to remind you that it yearns to play. Just in the
It's not
background.
my turn. That's all I can say. It's just, it's not my turn. Somebody take their goddamn turn.
As for our our sailor friend, he's allowed to have his own past, and he's allowed to have his own secrets. He doesn't have to tell us what he's done, but he does have to be sure not to lie to us. Lying is lying is wrong, and if you don't want to say something, just don't say it. But you're being rude to our most auspicious host, and we are all guests. Please leave. For now.
Very well then. And she sort of looks to the Nagi and gives a little curtsy and leaves the room.
The Naga doesn't seem to look at you with hate or disapproval or anything like that. Its tone and expression has been very calm and neutral. Kind of like vacant, you know, a little bit. But as you do leave, it says, once again, it's not too late. But as you kind of step out the doorway, just like half turning back on that, you find yourself having passed through some magical portal that is just indistinguishable and invisible, and you find yourself staring back at an empty, barren room filled with glyphs. Now, yeah, you won't be able to hear anything else. No, it's not fair to discourage you from the others. Continue to listen. Right, so the Naga continues to turn back to you all, and she goes, now that they have gone, and lies have left my chambers, what do you have next to ask?
You said you had a person in here who knew of the place you were headed to. Where is that exactly? Or where are they exactly?
He is hidden here, but because of some, even through my trials, managing to find their way here, like your friend, he continues to hide. Nearby. Very nearby.
Well, even with his past and how he is currently, anyone can become a good person again.
He
For we
was
all-
never a bad person. He is very, very good. And he does much good, considering he is hunted by so many.
She.
I don't reveal him to you now, because I've only found one that has managed to come by through the trials and still be after him. Or the rest of you might yet be after him,
Perhaps if he has the information we need.
What you seek is deep beneath the city of Omu. Down beneath there will be the source of what you call the Soulmonger and its death curse. There is nothing but death there. Nothing but savage, brutal, tearing, decaying, necrotic death. But your trial doesn't start there. It begins in Omu, where the fallen gods, the 9 trickster gods, lie in their tomb and await for their reverence to help a new one enter. However, even before then, forces move against you of the ones I've spoken of. The Yanti and their leader, Raz Nisi. He has already sent one of his envoy to try and quickly discourage you back in Port Nyanzaru. And you guys might remember you had a runaway bowel incident with a Yanti lady who ran off in the distance. Do you remember?
I remember her.
He is afraid that you will find the artifacts to unlock the subterranean level of Omu. Raznisi and the Yanti guard it. In order to get there, you will inevitably have to go through Raznisi and his Yanti worshippers.
And that will probably be no petty task either.
It won't be, no.
I hate to say it, but I don't think we're ready just yet.
You will be. The trials that prepared you to meet me will also be prepared in Omu. The 9 trickster gods will become your allies, as you will discover, and they will help your entry down into the undercroft of Omu itself.
It is still a long way.
It is a very long way, down to the south, past the peaks of flame, and between the valley of lost honor. There you will find Omu, nestled nicely between the two.
We shall make our way post-haste.
Yes.
Very good. Now, just to give you guys some reference, if you are moving as the crow flies, and you can see on the map down to the south here, the 2 marked areas that you can see that as the crow flies, we're talking 200 to 230 miles of terrain travel, not to mention 1 river crossing, 1 Aldani basin, and whatever all this is, before you get close to volcanoes and deserty areas. So yeah, can be fun.
Seems like we still have a long ways to go then.
Should we first make our way to the heart of town?
Or perhaps, if we are to go against this Raznisi and his
Am
cult.
I back with the group now?
Oh, yeah, no, something I did forget to mention. Raznisi is the leader of the Yanti, but he is now a snake abomination. In a former life, he was the defender of the city of Mesro, but he was a paladin, not so unlike yours, who did not seek redemption. He instead fell and controlled the undead. He created an army of undead to wage war with the rest of Chult. With his downfall, his undead continue to roam the jungles, and you will still find them today, plaguing the land. They are all of his creation. He is the reason Chult lingers with undeath hanging between every bough and vine.
And to stop the undead.
Or his fault.
What's that?
Stop the undead, which would help a great portion of this continent, would also be the same task to stop the soulmonger.
The undead were here before your death curse began. They will be here after. They will need to be purged one by one over time through searching our great, whimsically bizarre, encircling jungle. But in time they will all fall, unless new powers come to reinforce them.
I think we should move on.
Before you go, the Naga goes forward to Pelagius. Let's see what it does. Pelagius. The Naga says, "Bring me your sword."
I have a warhammer.
Bring me your warhammer.
Whatever you mortals use.
Yes.
I hold up my warhammer, both hands above my head.
The Naga bares its fangs slowly, but they are impressively long. Seriously long coming out of the mouth, as they look like they reach to about like a foot in length, honestly. And they seem to like saber-toothed tiger pass through their lips. And then they kind of snarl and hiss as venomous kind of droplets of pure pink drip down onto the warhammer. I would like you to pick a enemy type.
Undead.
You now have the charm of the Slayer, specifically an undead Slayer. For the next 9 days, you have essentially what is a Dragon Slayer or Giant Slayer, but now Undead Slayer. Next up, it goes to Apekis. The Naga basically continues to hiss and does so right over your head. No, your holy symbol, Apekis. Are you happy with your goddess being Berenor?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the Shield Maiden, Lady of Life and Light. She basically, this Guardian Naga hisses over your holy symbol, and what you have is a charm of heroism. You can cast, or rather use, this is basically, I'll just copy and paste it. Undead Slayer for 9 days for you, Pelagius. A charm of heroism for you, Apekis, and you should take the note of those details. Artemis, let's see. Let's see, what's good for you? They basically hiss on you, and they drop their venomous droplets onto your feet, and gives you a charm of feather falling. And as for you, Alofiel, the charm for you is clear. They give you the charm of animal conjuring.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's gonna be very nice.
And there is Kolos, but Kolos. Yes, of course, Kolos is a thing. Okay, Kolos will be able to have the charm of dark vision. Alright, take a note of that.
Did you post the Undead Slayer? I can't see it.
Okay. I'll post. I'll make one up. So, there we go. And what a slayer of a thing is essentially 2d6, but I'll be more precise. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D Dragon Slayer, where are you? Dragon Slayer, there you are. So, your Warhammer is currently a +1 to attack and damage rolls, as it is now classed as a magic item, for 9 days. Further, when you hit a undead with this weapon, the undead take an extra 3d6 damage of the weapon's type, bludgeoning. For the purpose of this weapon, undead refers to any creature with undead type, including the Gorillon zombies, ghouls, ghosts of various degrees, as well as zombies in general. Okay?
Alright.
Excellent. So, is that all of your dealings?
I believe so, yes.
Anything before
no.
you leave? Because once you leave, there is no coming back.
Before we leave, I'd like to approach the Naga again and hold out a charm that I was given, for, the Lucky Silver Charm I got from somebody at Camp Vengeance, and hold it out as a gift.
Yeah, the Guardian Naga quietly accepts it, picks it up in their mouth, and plops it to one of the overhanging bird cages with some spray sort of metalwork that it can hook it around. And basically, it gives a very quiet hissing nod of respect. But the Naga doesn't fail to reiterate your task. Find Omu. Complete its task. Go through or defeat Raz Nisi, who will get in your way, and enter the underground, the sunken city of Omu. There you shall find your death curse. And with that, we'll end today's session.